jump into Twitter really quick. We're going to see the similarities. So on Twitter, let's go all the way up to the top. And let's see here. Oh, look at that. NFTs. We're going to talk about this in a second. So on Twitter, I follow everybody, news stations. This is strictly for just all display purposes only. So don't get offended. I follow everybody. Biden, Trump, Fox, MSNBC. This is just to kind of show you what's happening in this world. Now, most people use Twitter to really follow politics nowadays, and celebrities. This has become the platform where if Tom Cruise does something wrong or Kim Kardashian said the wrong thing, they come to Twitter and apologize. And they're like, hey, I'm so sorry, folks. If I posted on Twitter, I truly mean it from the bottom of my heart, even though I really don't. But that's what they say we're supposed to do, so I'm going to do it. It's here where everything happens from the political standpoint. So if you post something here, it's official, quote unquote. But you also have those blue check marks that authenticates that these people are like Fox News. This is the real brand. Kyle Griffin, whoever this dude is, that's the real Kyle Griffin. And you have this information here. Now, I just want to show you Kyle Griffin, for instance, like, look at the numbers. So he has 657, actually MSNBC and two others follow him. Then you have his name. You have his handle, which is Kyle Griffin 1. It was posted 16 hours ago. His statement. And then you have 657 comments. You have 6,357 retweets, meaning someone said, if Pat Potter was like, hey, I just saw a bird in the sky. And I'm like, hey, Pat Potter just saw a bird in the sky. And then Nancy and John said, hey, Julia said that Pat Potter said that there was a bird in the sky. It's a retweet. You keep on sharing this information. So it's almost like virtual gossip. But the gossip, sometimes people will hear some gossip and they try to find or put it out in a way in which they discovered the gossip. But in this case, there's a paper trail. So you kind of know where the gossip started from and where it came from. And those are the retweets. You could do this by sharing stuff on Facebook, on Instagram, as well as Twitter. And then he has 67.6 thousand likes. So you just heart it. You can retweet it. You can share it with other people. But all of this information is live. Now, the coolest thing I like about Twitter is that it goes beyond us actually, like if we were all just kind of hanging out in the room, like we are right now, we're virtually hanging out in the room. We're having this conversation. Once we get off the call, you may call somebody else and say, hey, man, just had a really cool social media session. It was awesome, blah, blah, blah. But how's the weather up there? And that's it. That conversation, we can never track that conversation. But here you can, and you can always go back. So Fox News posted higher risk. Researchers reveal two biggest reasons weed users are heading to the ER, right? So in that, I can actually tap on this post. I can see it bigger, but I can also see the people who are commenting on that post. So for instance, if you saw a tweet that they're talking about in the news, they're like, oh my God, this just went viral. The president said this, or the vice president said this, or Tom Cruise did this, or Kim Kardashian said this. On Twitter or on Instagram, you can actually go on there and you can actually see what people like you and I are saying, the actual comments, versus what media is telling you what people think. So you can see that people are like, oh my God, there's I mean, you see the comments here. We'll get out of this. This is funny. But you can see what the world is thinking. And that's what I actually like about Twitter, because it's just like people rarely click on it. They'll just look at the tweet, but not really go into the actual tweet itself. So you can come here and say, oh, wow, I wish someone would bring proof, blah, blah, blah. And you could see what the true consensus is on Twitter. But also be mindful that you have detractors or people who are just like putting stuff out, and I don't know, they may just kind of try to instigate the fight a little bit. So they may come on there with beliefs that they actually don't believe and say, Steve Byrne said this. I don't like you, Steve, and then just start duking it out with him right then and there. Steve was like, well, you don't even know me. Well, I don't like you. You have a big head. And you could just go back and forth here, right? So you have that on Twitter. You have your search. This is where kind of like the hashtags really started. So in the search, they'll tell you what's trending, different things that's happening in the world, hashtags that are trending. You can go and check that out. You have the little bell icon, get notifications, and then you have direct messages. So you can actually reach out to people, and you can do this on Instagram as well, where you could just send a DM or a direct message to that particular person and say, hey, Tom Cruise, man, I really think you're not the best actor. I know people tell you are, but you're really not. And I need you to hear that from me, even though I'm a nobody, but I want you to hear it. So you can send direct messages, and not everyone will accept them, but you can certainly try. At the very top right, you have a little gear. And if you tap on that gear, it'll give you some information about allow message requests from everyone. Most people have this turned off, which you should. So let's hit done. Let's go back to the home. And then if you tap on your little guy at the top left, now you get all of this information. Again, you can get to your settings and privacy. So same idea on the other two platforms, but it's in a different spot here. On Twitter, you can be very anonymous as well. So even if you wanted to sign up for an account and never put a picture up, never share anything, you could just follow the stuff that you just want to see. And it's almost like turning on channel 7 and letting the TV stay on. No one knows you're there, and you could just watch it and never comment. All right.